take a deep breath in and let it go. Let's take another breath together. Breathe in and let it go. One more deep breath. This is the part where I'm supposed to say something. I've heard it said from a number of spiritual teachers that all spiritual practice is preparation for dying. That everything we do in our prayer work, in our spiritual practice, in our meditation, in our studying, in our learning about the nature of the universe, that all of it is to prepare us for when we die. That because when we are fully prepared for that inevitable truth, it allows us to truly live. One of the things that I witnessed with Christine in the last number of months is how deeply steeped in her spiritual practice she was. What a deep and prayerful soul. And every step of the way through her cancer, through her suffering, through all of it, there was such a deep sense of peace that she was not afraid. Because in the depth of her core, there was nothing to fear. Because in that final breath is that moment of the re-embrace when we become part of that great source from which we all came. And I've heard it said that we all die how we live, that the truth of who we are, our nature, is what shows up as we make that final passage. And if that's true, what I know of Christine is the deep light and love that she was. And my beloved friend Firefly, she was someone who was led every step of her life by something greater. And I want to tell you a little story about what happened 2 years ago. Because she was in Germany on tour with her band. And the morning of her accident, she was supposed to get on a train and go to Spain to go to a medieval music course, retreat. And she woke up that morning, and her bandmates were expecting her not to be there, to have left and gotten on a train early in the morning. And they woke up, and she was still in the house. And she said, I don't know why, but I woke up this morning, and I just got this deep knowing that I'm not leaving Germany today. That there's something I have to do here. And I don't know what it is. And I know this changes all of our plans. But there's something I have to do in Germany. And she said, I'm going to go for a walk, and I want to wrap my mind around this. And that was the last conversation anyone ever had with her. 15 minutes, 20 minutes after that conversation, she was struck by a train. And she's been in a state since then. And everyone she knew, and just about everyone that they knew, was changed, was affected, was shifted in some way. And I know people all over the world who've been following her story who've never met her. And on Wednesday, she was found at 11:11, having had taken her last breath. And then when the paramedics came and tried to do the life-saving things that they do, They pronounced her at 12:12. I tell you that because Firefly was one of those people who was always looking for those little moments of synchronicity, those little winks from the universe saying there's something more going on here. And every moment since her accident, there have been these little glimmers that there's something greater at work in all of this. I do not understand it. But what I know is that I have a deep faith and a deep knowing and a trust in that something more. And one of our beloveds this week, as we were all gathered together, said, she planted an acorn in each one of us. And then the thought emerged into the room that someday we will all stand in that forest of understanding and say, oh, this is why. And I want to use these two beloveds as an invitation for all of us to really remember who it is that we want to be and how we want to live. Because each one of us is impacting each other. Each one of our lives has an impact on the people that we love. And that we may never see the ways that how we show up shift the people that we love, but know that you do. And with each passing, with each candle lighting, I keep having this feeling inside of myself of if only I had shown up more. If only I had made that phone call. If only I had showed up that extra time. Friends, there are people in this room who may not be here next week, or next month, or next year. What does it look like for all of us to begin to live and love as if today might be the last day I will see you? And what if we showed up that way every single day with every single person we lay eyes on? Because every one of us is here in this world on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. Each one of us is here for each other. Each one of us has been sent by the universe, by God, by the Great Spirit to be here for each other. And so I want us to just embrace this grief that is here, even if you didn't know either of these two beautiful souls. To just feel the overflow of love that is here. Because I really do deeply believe that the expression of grief that moves through us when we lose something is the overflow of love we never had the chance to give. And that the depth of our grief is the depth of our love. And there's something more to all of us. I do deeply know and believe in the truth that we are infinite. That indeed we were never born and we will never die, and yet we come into this life for a brief period of time. I think it's Mary Oliver who would ask us, what will you do with this one wild and precious life? What does it look like for each one of us to live as if today is the only day, and to love as if that love is eternal? Would you just breathe with me? I just want to invite all of us to really take the opportunity today and ask ourselves who we would truly be and how and who we want to share that with if today was the only day we had. And let us begin to live every day with that absolute preciousness that is this gift of life, and hold it truly and deeply in front of us, and cherish every breath, cherish every hug, cherish every moment that we have with each other. Because when we live knowing that we're going to die, it opens us up to truly live. Because when we know that that life is eternal and we spend time in relationship with the more of us, when we spend time in spiritual practice, when we spend time in prayer, when we sing, when we hold each other, we contact that infinite piece of ourselves. And I think it's so deeply important for us to contact that part of ourselves every day. To sit in meditation, to be in prayer, to go be in nature with the ocean, whatever your practice is. But every day, touch the infinite in some way. Because the more we touch that piece of ourselves, the more we know that that is the truth of who we are. And the more that infinite and expansive love and light can shine through us. And when we make friends with that eternal part of ourselves, truly, when the day comes to cross that threshold, there will be nothing to fear. Because it will be a coming home. So take a deep breath. And if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. I could ask my practitioners and any ministers to stand who are here. Just hold this space with me. As we take another deep breath in. I want to speak this truth once again and remind each one of us that we are being breathed by something greater than we are. That what I know is that there is one life, one infinite being, one power, and one presence that is living and breathing throughout the entirety of the universe. That it is this one life, this one presence, this one infinite being that is shining the sun, that is shining in the stars, that is holding the galaxies spinning, that is living as each one of us, beating our hearts, breathing our bodies. We are not breathing, we are being breathed. We are not living, we are being lived. There is something so much greater than we are that is living through each one of us. All the accounts of anyone I've ever read who've ever had a near-death experience always say it's incomprehensible how we can fit all of who we are into these little bodies. We are so much more than we know. And so let us just breathe ever deeper today into the remembering that there is a more of us. There is the infinite being that is living and breathing in our souls, that is shining from the core of who we are. Let each one of us awaken to that truth more and more and more, and allow the light of love to shine through our eyes. Let the presence of the One speak through us, act through us, be as us in everything that we do. Because what these two beloveds we're speaking of today, for Christine, for Firefly, what both of them have taught is what it looks like to let God shine through who they were. May each one of us learn to open ourselves to let that love, to let that light, to let that music, to let that truth shine through us wholly and completely. Let us get out of the way. Let us stop being afraid to let our light shine, so that we can be who we were sent here to be. There is so much pain in this world, and each one of us has the capacity to be the medicine that the people around us need. Let our hearts be open. Let us remember the truth of who we are. And then everywhere we go, everywhere we look, with everyone we meet, let's look for that truth reflecting itself back to us. Because indeed, the love that we feel is the Spirit revealing itself to us, saying, "Beloved, yes, here I am." There is only one of us here. And those that we love remind us of the love of the universe. But that love is infinite. That love is not encapsulated in any one body. That love is everybody. And so I just speak a word of gratitude this day for the love, for the pain, for the grief, for the loss, for the remembering that there is so much more at work here. That there is a divine mystery that is moving through all of us, that is guiding all of us, that carries us through this life. Let us learn to listen to the mystery. Let us learn to be led no matter where it leads us. Let us remember that there is something greater at work in our lives, and that something greater is seeking to reveal itself through us and for each other. And so as easily as we breathe, let us surrender to that breath, surrendering to that which is breathing us, surrendering to that greater life that is living us, surrendering to this moment, to feel what there is to feel, to hold what there is to hold, to lift up what there is to lift up. Let us just be open to allow the truth and the love and the light of who we are to shine through us. And so in gratitude, I just let these words rest as I say, and so it is.